Okay, this is Algebra 2, section 6.3, page 390, geometric sequences and series. Okay, if I was to take, we've looked at other sequences before, and they were called arithmetic sequences, correct? So you'd start with a number and you add a number each time, correct? And do you remember what we called it a common difference between the first term and the second term? And I'm going to show you that in just a minute here on what the terms are and how they're marked. And I don't know if you remember that from arithmetic sequence, but let's take a look at this sequence here. A sequence is numbers that follow a pattern here, and they go on forever, okay? Okay, so if you take a look at this one, 5, 10, 20, 40. This is what we call a sub 1, this is called a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub 4, and so on, okay? These are numbers. And what we want to look for is what are we doing each time to get the next number in the pattern, okay? And if you look at this one, what are we doing?
Multiplying by 2.
We're multiplying by 2. In an arithmetic sequence, we call the difference the common difference, right? In multiplication, this is called a geometric sequence. A geometric sequence is when we multiply each term by a common ratio, okay? So we multiply each term by a common ratio. Now, you remember arithmetic, it was called a common difference, okay? We get that ratio by taking a sub 2 divided by a sub 1, or you could take a sub 3 divided by a sub 2, or just take the next term divided by the previous term, and that will give us a common ratio, and that is called R, okay? Right? So every geometric sequence has a ratio, a common ratio. And every geometric ratio can be written as a sub n, which means the nth term of the sequence. See, these are terms, right? Equals the first term, which is a sub 1, times that common ratio to the n minus 1 power, where n is the next term, okay? All right, so if I wanted to find the 10th term in this, right, I would go a sub 10 equals the first term, which was 5, times r, the common ratio. What's the common ratio?
2.
2, to the n minus 1 or 9th power. All right? What's that?
Oh.
Because I want to find the 10th term. So I would do this first. 2 to the 9th power is, if one of you guys got a calculator, pop that out real quick. 2 to the 9th times 5. It's 512. So the 10th term out here is 512. Any questions about that? All right. So you need to memorize that formula. All right. Okay. So let's take a look at this. I want you to write an equation, and this is kind of like some of the problems you're going to have. Write an equation for the nth term of the geometric sequence. Okay? So we would go number 1, 0.5 to 8, 32, ... Okay? You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we need this formula right here, a sub n equals a sub 1, r to the n minus 1 power. What is the first term? The first term is 0.5, isn't it? Right? What is r? 4. How'd you get that?
You multiply every number by 4.
Okay, or 8 divided by 2, right? I could do 2 divided by 0.5, but that's tougher, right? So R is 4 to what power? N minus 1, because I'm looking for the equation for the nth term. So this is my formula, okay? Now I can change things around. I don't have to give you the first term. For example, I can say, well, I want you to do the same thing, but I'm going to tell you that a to the 4th is 5 and r is 6. Bless you. Okay, so we still want to do this formula, don't we? But guess what? I don't have a to the 1st anymore, do I? All right, I can figure it out because I know that a to the 4th is 5 and r is 6, right? So a to the 1 I don't know. And I can put 4 in here. 4 minus 1 is 3. So what is 6 to the 3rd power? Well, what is 6? 216. So I have 216 a sub 1 equals 5. Notice how I turn that around. So the variable is behind it, and then I just divide by 216. And I get a sub 1 equals 5 over 216. Now that's not my answer, that's just a sub 1. I gotta go back in this formula. Are you following me, Harper?
Yeah.
A sub n equals 5 over 216 r to the n minus 1, and there's my formula.
What is R again?
R is a common ratio. It's what you're multiplying each one by. Okay? You know how to do that now. Yeah? Okay. Alright, so let's talk about this thing called geometric means. You actually had it in geometry, but it means a little bit different in algebra. Geometric means are the between numbers in a sequence. There will be the between numbers. Okay, so if I take a look at this, say number 3 here, and it says find the geometric means between 2 and, or no, it says find 3. I'm sorry, find 3. We got to know that. 3 geometric means between 2 and 1250. Okay? So if there are 3 geometric means, guys, what this means is there are 3 numbers between this, if this is a geometric sequence. Okay? So I know I want to find the 3, so I got to find a common ratio. If I find the common ratio, I got it, don't I? So basically, this is the 5th term, is that right? So I can use this formula, a sub n equals a sub 1 r to the n minus 1. I can use that, and I can say 1250 equals, a sub 1 is 2, that's what I start with, r to the 5 minus 1 power. Where did the 5 come from? This is the 5th term. Does everybody understand that? This is the 5th term. So I can take 1250 equals 2r to the 4th term. So I divide both sides by 2. And I get, 625 equals r to the 4th. What number times itself 4 times equals 625? 5. That is correct. You take the 4th root of 625. Jaws, do you understand that? Yeah. So my common ratio is 5. Okay? My common ratio is 5. That means I'm going to take 2 times 5 and get what? 10. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, I forgot something. This is an even, right? This is an even. So it's plus or minus 5. Goodness sakes. I forgot that. Why? Because when you take, the numbers can be positive or negative. If you take a negative 5 times itself 4 times, you still get a positive 625. So my common ratio is 2 answers. The geometric means here can be 10, 50, and 250. Okay? So that's my first answer. Here's my first answer. My second answer is 2, a negative 10. A negative 10 times negative 5 is a positive 50. A negative 5 times 50 is a negative 250. And 1250. So here's my second answer. So my answers can be 10, 50, 250, or a negative 10, 50, and a negative 250.
Can you just put plus or minus on one answer?
Yeah, but you make sure that 50 stays positive both times.
Okay.
Okay?
Why does it?
Because you're taking a negative 10 times a negative 5 and getting a positive 50. A negative times a negative is a positive.
Okay.
Good question. All right? Any other questions that far? Okay. All right. So we're going to pop to a geometric series. What did we just study? We studied geometric sequences. Yeah, and we did means too. Okay, a series. You remember that first one I did? Remember the first one I did was 5, 10, 20, and 40, right? This is a sequence. ... A series adds them up. So you go 5 plus 10 plus 20 plus 40, ... So we have what we call, this is a series. And a series provides a sum. A sum is the addition of those as we go. That's the difference between a series and a sequence, Uton. Okay? A sequence, we just have the numbers, right, CJ?
Yep.
A series, we're going to add them up as we go. So one thing that's important is, on a series is we also have terms, but we also have a sum, a running total. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I say a sub 4 in this, a sub 4 is 40. But if I say the sum of 4, which is s sub 4, that's 15 plus 20 plus 40. So it'd be what? 75. You see the difference? We have another thing we have to consider. Okay? Now there are 2 formulas, and I give them to you on the test and quiz. And these are the series formulas. And the reason I give them to you is they're kind of difficult to memorize. They're not something that you need to know offhand all the time. All right? The first one is this one. If you're given a sub 1, which is the first term, and n, which is the number of terms you want to talk about, right? The 10th term, whatever. Here's your formula. It is s sub n, which means the sum, that's at 75, is equal to a sub 1 minus a sub 1 r to the n minus 1 power all over 1 minus r. Nope, I lied. It's just r to the n power. The next one. Okay? Guys, in the denominator, r cannot be 1, otherwise you get a 0 in the denominator. It's undefined. Okay? So then, given also a sub 1 and a sub n, that means we're given the nth term, you have a different formula. S sub n equals a sub 1 minus a sub nr all over 1 minus r. So there are 2 different formulas. Do you understand that? Okay, so let me give you an example. Let's say that we had, what number am I on? 4? Let's say that we had this one. we have a sub 1 equals 2. We have n equals 10, and we have r equals 3. And I want to find the geometric series. I want to find the geometric series. In other words, I want to add it up to the 10th term. Do you understand that? I want to add it up to the 10th term. Jaws, you understand that? Which formula do I use? The top one. Because they gave you a sub 1 and they gave you n.
So how do you know what the SN is yet?
Okay?
First?
Which one to use?
Well, no, the first number that you need.
Okay, we'll talk about it. Okay? We're going to go S of 10, right? Harper, because I'm looking for the 10th, right?
Yeah.
Equals a sub 1, which is 2. That's my first term, right? Minus a sub 1, which is 2 times r, which is 3. They told me r was 3, to the 10th power. You got that? All over 1 minus r, which is 3. Bo, you okay?
Yeah.
CJ?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I do 2 minus 2 times 3 to the 10th power. You can plug that in. Let's talk about how to plug that into your calculator. We go parentheses, 2 minus 2 parentheses, 3 caret 10 parentheses, and then I got to do another parentheses divided by a negative 2. Why do I have to do 2 parentheses here?
So it doesn't order.
All right, so it does the order. This does this first, then it times 2, and then that. Tell me what you get on your calculator.
Air.
Error?
No.
59,048.
Yeah, that's what, I got the same thing as Steve.
Oh, because you
You
put
do
the,
it like.
I put my parentheses the wrong way. How do I get back up? Get back up there.
Okay, if you got the right answer, would you help somebody beside you that did not get the right answer? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's do this one, number 5. A sub 1 equals 2,000. A sub n equals 125. And r equals 1/2. You can also use 0.5, correct? Which formula am I going to use? The second one. So I'm going to go. I do not know what n is, do I?
No.
Okay, so it's s of n. This one I knew was 10. So then I have a sub 1, which is 2,000, minus a sub n, which is 125, correct? And r is times r, which is 0.5, correct? All over,
1 minus 0.5.
yeah, 1 minus 0.5, which would be 0.5, correct? So to plug that in, I got parentheses 2,000 minus, I can just plug this straight in, right? I think. You got to put the top in parentheses. And what'd you get?
I don't know if I did right there.
Okay. Anybody get it?
I get 86.
This is what they get,
38.75.
38.75.
That's what I got.
Okay. Would somebody help Harper make sure?
39.76.
Ah, you guys, anybody over there get it correct?
What is that? What is that?
38.75.
2,000 in parentheses, 2,000 minus 125 times 0.5.
Times?
Yes,
Why did it not do the power of?
you don't have to take it to
That's
a
what I
power,
did.
but not if they give you a sub n, Bo. You don't.
I thought you had to take it to the R power.
No. There's no power in this one. See, there's no power. Ours times this, okay?
Oh, that looks like it's two.
Sorry. If it looks like it's raised, it wasn't meant to be, okay? Okay, questions? Okay, so one of the, we good?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the most interesting things that we use in a symbol is this symbol right here. And this is a summation. It is, yes, that is correct. It is summation, okay? What I want you to do is, summation is the same as a series. You add it up, correct? So if we're doing this, it looks like this. All right? They'll say K. I think this book uses K. I'm going to write it over here because I need more room. K equals 3 to 10. That's a 3. 3 to 10 of 4 times 2 K to the first power. K minus 1 power.
I can't see what's on top of that symbol.
10.
10. From K equals 3 to 10. Okay? All right. So if I want to find the summation, it's just like a series, only it starts in a different place and it ends in a different place. Okay? So in this case, all right, I know that a sub 1 is, help me out, what's a sub 1?
1.
It is 4. Look at this formula. This formula is in the form of a sub n equals a sub 1 r to the n minus 1, right? Right?
Yep.
Okay, so a sub 1 is 4. What is r?
K minus 1.
2. Bo, do you understand that?
Yep.
Okay. Now, in order to use one of these two, we either got to find n or a sub n, correct? Oh, wait a minute. A sub 1 is not 4. Is it? A sub 1 is 4 times when we put 3 in here. I'm
So
sorry.
R is 2.
So put 3 in here, what do I get? 2. 2 to the second power is 4, and 4 times 4 is? My first term is 16. My apologies. Alright? R is 2, right? But how many terms are from 3 to 10? Well, count them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many? 8. So n is 8. Now, which one of these two formulas would I use? The top one. So I would go S of the first 8 terms, right? So S of n equals 16 minus a sub 1, which is 16, times r, which is 2 to the 8th power, over 1 minus 8. Is that correct? Let's talk about how to put it in our calculator. Parentheses 16 minus 16 parentheses 2 caret 8 parentheses parentheses divided by a negative 7. Tell me what that value is.
582.8%.
Oh, they got 4,080. Okay, try to put it in again. Oh, I'm sorry. Why is this 8 down there? Why did I put 8 down there? It's 1
7.
minus r, it's 2. Nobody caught that. It's
Divided
8.
by 1.
So it's divided by a negative 1. Sorry about that. See if you get 4,080 there, peoples.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Okay. Dawson, you didn't get a Harper?
I got it.
All right, what about you there, Dawson?
Wait, why isn't it negative?
Why isn't it negative? Because this up here is negative. So a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Is that correct? All right. Any questions so far? What time does the bell ring? 54, okay. Let's go to the exercises. You're going to do 18 through 54 even. Okay? All right, I want to look at a story problem because you got a couple story problems, all right? Number 22. It's a biology question. Your science teacher would be happy for you, CJ.
Oh, yeah.
It says,
Nobody.
a certain bacteria grows at a rate of 3 cells every 2 minutes. What is that?
Mitosis.
What's that?
Mitosis.
Okay, but what in that? Very good, very good. I'm impressed. But what mathematically? What is it? Somebody said it.
Ratio.
It's a ratio. So my R is 3/2. Okay. All right. If there were 260 cells initially, what's that?
The N.
A sub one.
That's a sub 1, because it said initially, correct?
Yeah.
How many are there after 21 minutes?
3
Okay.
cells every 2 minutes. So there's.
What's n equal then?
21.
21.
Can you do something for me?
Thank you, Bo. We do have that on video now. All right. Goodness sakes. So we're going to start with the formula a sub n equals a sub 1 r to the n minus 1. That's the original sequence formula, isn't it? All right. So a sub 21 equals the first term, which is 260, times 3/2 to the 21 minus 1 power, correct? So to the 20th power. So when you plug that into your calculator, you go 260 times 1.5. Can I use 1.5?
Yeah.
Caret 20 power. Tell me what you get.
86,450.
864.
864,000.
That's right. 567 cells after 21 minutes.
Dang. That's a big bacteria.
Right? All right.
This is cancerous chicken cell.
All right. How about 34? Anybody curious about 34?
Yeah.
Only because you know you're going to do it, right?
Yeah.
All right. It says write an equation for the nth term. That's how we started this. You have a sub 4 equals 80 and r equals 4. What are we missing?
A sub 1.
We're missing a sub 1. All right? So we know the formula is a sub 1 equals, a sub n equals a sub 1 r to the n minus 1. We know some of this stuff. We know that the fourth term is 80, so we can put 80 in here, correct? We do not know the first term, that's what we're looking for. But we do know that r is 4, correct? And this is the fourth term, so n is 4, so 4 minus 1 is 3, correct? Is everybody okay with what I just did? So to solve for a sub 1, we're going to take 80 and divide it by 4 to the third power, which I believe is what? 64?
Yeah.
Let's simplify that. They're both divisible by 8, so it'd be 10 over 8, and those are both divisible by
5 over 4.
5 over 4. So my formula, after all of this, is a sub n equals a sub 1, which is 5/4, correct? 5/4 r, which is what? 4 to the n minus 1. There's my answer.
Well,
Say that again.
nothing.
All right. Bo, you gonna sing for us?
Probably later.
Probably later when we're off video.
Yep.
All right.
Like the n minus 1. And that's it.
That is correct. That is correct. Is there? Do you have a question over here? Over there. Okay. Alright, let's take 54, shall we? It says find a sub 1 for each geometric series described. Okay? So we have a sum, and it is 4,118. We also know that a sub n equals 128. And r is 2/3. Which formula are we going to use?
Use
The second
basic one.
We know a sub n, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to use the second formula. The second formula says S of n equals a sub 1 minus a sub n times r all over 1 minus r. You okay with that? Joss?
Yeah.
Now we're going to plug in some numbers. First of all, S of n is what?
4188.
4118. We do not know a sub 1. What is a sub n?
I know it's neat on
128.
I do not know what that guy said. 128 times r, which is times 2/3, correct?
Yeah.
All over 1 minus r, which is 1/3. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, to get rid of this 1/3, we're going to multiply both sides by 1/3. Because it can't, no, it's different. Because you're dividing by the whole fraction. Okay? You're not trying to get rid of a fraction. We're going to multiply by 1/3. It cancels here. We're going to multiply this by 1/3. Does 4,118, is it divisible by 3? It's not, is it?
No.
What is it? Well, let's just leave it as 4,118 divided by 3. That equals a sub 1 minus 128 times 2/3, which is what? I'm going to leave it in terms of thirds, and I'll show you why in a minute. What's 128 times 2?
256.
256 over 3. Does anybody know why I left it in terms of thirds?
85.333.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm going to add this to both sides, right? Because I'm subtracting it.
Oh, is it already?
Can you just, like, when you divide it, just subtract it?
Yeah, as long as you got an exact answer. So I'm going to add 256 over 3 to both sides. That will give me a to the first. Do you understand that? The operation of subtraction I'm going to add. So add 4,118 plus 256. What do you get?
4,374.
4,374 over 3. Does that come out?
To 1458.
Yeah, 1458.
1458. So a sub 1 equals 1,458. And that's what our answer was. That's what they asked. Okay? All right. We're about out of time. Your assignment is not due tomorrow, 394. You'll have tomorrow to work on it. Will everybody be here tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's
We
page.
know if we're here. It's a
It-
snow day.
Okay, right. And if it's a snow day, I'll give you Friday to work on it, okay? So it'll be due Monday. If it's a snow day tomorrow, okay? But we're just doing evens, okay? Page 394. Can I get somebody to put that up there, please? Page 394, 18 through 54, even.